don't know who I am, I'm Mrs. Hardesty. I'm the person that kind of started this whole nonsense. You're welcome. This is Mrs. Fisher. She teaches first grade, and she is our musical director. This is Ms. Nunez. She used to be our social worker, and then she went into private practice, and she comes back to help us. And she helps with the crew. She's the director. This is Ms. Maples. She is a third grade teacher, and she is one of the choreographers. This is Mr. Josh Goldstein, our teacher, and he is the art director. And this is Erica White, and she teaches first grade and is also one of our choreographers. So this is the theater team. For anyone who is needing translation, if you scan the QR code, it will give you the same presentation in Russian and in Spanish. Yes, you have a Russian seat auditioning.
And please forgive me, I used Google Translate.
It's Google Translate, so the best. That's what we got. All right. Everybody good? Got it. Okay.
Yep. I'm looking at my phone because my number is on the front.
He's the doorbell. He's the doorbell. I like to say justify to everyone.
All right, so I did just introduce us, but we also want to emphasize that this wonderful team of teachers, we are volunteering our time. This is an unpaid thing that we do. We do not get paid for doing this after school, none of it. The only thing that any of us get paid for is Amy and Ms. Fisher and I teach piano. The Steinway Society gets us for that. But everything else is because we love it. That's really exciting. No, we really do. We really do. But please do understand that we are doing this on a volunteer basis. So these are the things we're going to kind of go over, and we're just going to go right into it. So we follow 3 rules. We say them every time we start rehearsal, and I'm going to have you echo me. So the first one is give respect, get respect.
Give respect, get respect.
The second one is everybody plays.
Everybody plays.
And then this one we go one at a time. Have. Serious.
Serious.
Fun. And we talk about this. Obviously, give respect, get respect is pretty self-explanatory. But everybody plays means we can't do it without everyone on the team participating. So even if you're having an off day or you're tired or whatever, I always tell the kids, no one is more tired than me. So, and I'm here. So guess what? But if you're not participating, then we're missing something from the show. So everyone has to participate. And then have serious fun. Like I tell the kids, this is one of my favorite things that I do here. So we're having a lot of fun, but it is serious fun because we have a lot to accomplish. So we're having fun, but it's also focused. All right, who wants to take this one?
Behavior expectations?
You got it.
Sure. Okay. Since I'm the one who misbehaves the most. All right. I mean, you can read for yourselves: disrespect to an adult, disrespect to another student, disruptive behavior, refusal to participate, drinking from the chocolate river, or demanding a swirl. None of these will be acceptable. And students who struggle will be conferenced. We try very hard to have conferences with kids. We understand kids are kids. We're not going to be, hard and fast.
Speak up.
We're not going to. Oh, there's a microphone.
Wait, lose your voice.
So we've had many behavior issues. We've had conferences with students, and usually we can work it all out. We'll try to involve you in the process as much as possible, and we try to keep behaviors from school separate as much as possible from behaviors in the musical. So we try very hard to let their behavior at our musical stand for itself and not let things that happen at school affect what happens here. That said, if it becomes extreme, of course, we can have conversations that way too. So continued behavior issues can result in removal from the musical because we have a job to accomplish and we need everybody to be working at their best to make that happen. Anything else to say about
Yes.
that? Go for it.
So as you said, we try not to have people, like school is a separate thing. We're talking about what they do in our time. However, we also fall under admin. So if there's a behavior that becomes an issue in the classroom and it escalates to the point where something has to be done, admin can't take this from your student. Also, I've had a couple of times where a parent tried to take it away from their student, like didn't come to rehearsal because they were grounded. Please don't do that. I get it. We have to, give our kids consequences, but like that's not just a consequence for your child; it's a consequence for everybody in the show. So unless it's an extreme thing, you're actually pulling them from the show permanently. Please don't take away rehearsal because they need it, and so do we.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. These are some benefits of being in a theater program.
Do I really need the microphone?
Yes.
Okay.
If I had to do it, you have to do it.
So these are the benefits that we did actually some research on and how the theater program helps us in our school. So for school, it increases the students' comprehension, their literacy, and their critical thinking. They are making snap decisions on stage, but they're also comprehending what the script is saying so that they know how to act. It's increasing their fluency because they are reading. At home, we're hoping that what it does is it benefits them with their communication, their self-discipline. They are in charge of their own bodies, their own selves, when they're on the stage or behind the scenes, so we're hoping that that translates at home as well. The community, they learn teamwork, they learn community awareness, and it's a whole team, not just themselves, not just the lead role. And then personally, we've seen all of our students gain self-confidence, empathy, and imagination.
We watched a lot of students grow in this program from third grade through fifth grade and seen some incredible growth from different students. So it really is amazing what it can do for them. All right, so here's the nitty-gritty. We are going to have 40 cast and 15 crew. This is not a very big stage. If you've been to our shows before, we use this whole front area as well because this is really not a very large stage. So 40 is our kind of maximum to make the show work well and make sure that everybody has an opportunity to be on the stage and featured in some way. And then 15 crew is kind of the maximum number to make sure that they have opportunities to actually do stuff and not just sitting there doing nothing, and accomplish what we need to accomplish. Which means that not all of the students who want to get in are going to get in. Okay, so not everybody's going to make it. We will send home an email to the email that you provided on the forms, whatever's in Skyward, and that will go home Tuesday evening, November 14th. We like to send it in an email because that way you get the information and you can let them know if they made it or not. They will not know at the time what their role would be if they got in. It'll just be an email that says, "Congratulations, you made it in," or "I'm so sorry, you did not make it this year. Please try again next year." Or if you're in fifth grade, talk to Miss Neal and make her do a show with me. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, I promise. But we really don't want to have them come to school and not know because it has happened that we've had to break it to them, and then that just really ruins their day. Like, then they're crying and they have to go back to class and they have to, sit next to the person who did get in, so excited, and it's very hard. So it's much better if you can have a conversation with them and talk them through it and help them process those feelings before they come and have to be with their peers at school.
And take them for ice cream.
Take them for ice cream. Yeah. I'm sorry you didn't make it. Here's some here on my eyes. Then at that point, only students who have been cast or crew will attend rehearsals after that. So Thursday, November 16th is the Thursday before Thanksgiving. That will be our first read-through. That's when they will find out what their roles are, get their scripts and all that stuff. And from there forward, the students who made it in will attend. We make the decisions as a group, so they are final. You can ask us what our, why or what our decision was. I've had that before. Most of the time, it's not a big thing because we have 115 students auditioning. We have 55 spots. It's something minor, or it's just they didn't stand out like this other student did in some way. So I can't always give you like a real specific answer, but I'll try my best to give you an answer if you need one. But in general, it's going to be like this other student just stood out more, and so we had to go with this student. Or if they're in third grade, I might be looking at 2 equal students, and one is in third grade and one is in fifth grade. We're going to give the fifth grader the spot because the third grader has 2 more years to do it. Okay? We only do that if we're looking at equal students, though. So if a third grader does much better than a fifth grader, they get it. Okay? So, but we really work hard to do our best to make it as fair and as equitable and as easy as possible for them. We have to sit there and move sticky notes around for hours at a time. It's fine. But yeah, so we make those decisions, and it's not an easy decision. So please understand that those are final decisions.
No, really.
Yeah. Sorry.
We've done the show with 120 kids before. It
It's
really is not
It's
doable.
not fun for
It was a big
anybody.
mistake we made, and we will never do that again.
It's not fun for the kids
Lying
either.
kid with
'cause
120
And there's
kids, we're not
no,
joking.
they end up either sitting backstage and not getting to be on the stage for a lot of the show, or just, it's not fun for anyone. So unfortunately, this is how it works.
And I don't know if you said this, but some of us will actually, if we have a student that we're really close to them because they're in one of our classes, we will step back and not make that decision on purpose so that it's more fair for that child. So we try very, very hard to make that whole process, and it's heartbreaking for us too. So we understand. It's probably the first
We
time.
literally stood in my room with a sticky note of a
Yeah.
child and like, but, and we're looking at the list with all
Yeah.
of the other, and we're like, but we can't. But,
Yeah.
We love these kids. We want them in. We just can't take everybody. So it does break our hearts. We will get into arguments between each other over this is a process. We were here very late one night doing this. So we don't take cutting kids lightly, and we will fight about it because we all love these kids. So please understand when we do it, we don't like it.
Yeah.
all right. So for CAST, and if you looked at the form, you might have noticed that it just asks whether your student wants to audition for CAST or crew that you need to decide, because those are 2 different audition processes. And again, there's 40 spots for CAST and 15 for crew, so it is quite a big difference. So for CAST, what we do is we will put all students who return the forms that you have into a Google Classroom, and then I will place some tracks and things for them to practice with in that Google Classroom. So they can and should come to auditions prepared. They should know, at least have heard the songs before. They should have looked at some of the lines, things like that. We will group them into 3 groups. So let's say we have 120 students audition. 40 will come on November 2nd, 40 will come on November 7th, and 40 will come on November 9th. So they will come to one of those 3 audition days. And I basically do that by when the forms get printed. So the first 40, that's day 1, second 40, day 2, last 40, day 3. And it's not, there's no benefit to being first or last, it's just whenever it happens. We will have the students sing, act, and dance, and we will be just kind of watching to see how they do. They do not have to do it by themselves, so we usually put like a line of like 4 or 5 kids, and we have them sing, we teach them a song, and then we line them up, and we have them sing 4 or 5 kids at a time, so we can kind of hear individual voices a little bit, but it's not like they're not here by themselves going, ah, like, we don't do that. And then same thing with the acting lines. We're watching for, can they give us some different emotions? Can they show what we're looking for, and then dance. It's not like Dance with the Stars. It's just like, can you move your left arm when I ask you to move your left arm? Things like that. As I move my right arm, because I do things in class. And then if we need to see more from a student, we will ask them to call backs on November 14th. So that's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Callbacks doesn't mean you're in. If you don't get called back, it doesn't mean you're out. It just means that those are the kids we need to see more from for some reason. Whether it's we weren't sure we saw enough from them the first time, or we're looking at them for one of the roles where they have to sing by themselves, so we want to actually have them sing by themselves and make sure that they're comfortable doing it. Things like that. That's what callbacks are for. So that would be November 14th, and then that evening we will be staying here with the sticky notes on my board and figuring out casting. And then I will send home the emails that night. All casting is based on this year's audition process only. Students who had a role last year might get in, or they might not. Students who didn't get in last year might get in, or they might not. It all depends on what you show us at this process. We have had a student who was a main role. One year came back the next year, thought, I don't really have to do anything because I was already on a main role, so I don't have to do it. And didn't get in. So we really do expect them to show up with their best every time. All right. These are the 40 cast roles. We have.
Take a picture. It's okay.
Yeah.
I see you guys. I see people like.
Okay.
It's a secret.
I do want to kind of go over these. I did go over them with the kids. But one thing I want to point out is that the roles that have a single star, halfway through the show when they go to the factory, all of those people become Oompa Loompas. And the family members, Mrs. Bucket, Mr. Bucket, Grandma Josephina, Grandma Georgina, and Grandpa George, they become squirrels in the nut room halfway through. So we are going to have a big costume change, a makeup change, to be very exciting in the middle of the show. The other thing I want to make clear is that the narrator, Willy Wonka, the Candyman, Charlie Bucket, and Phineas Trout are non-gendered. So we might end up with a girl Willy Wonka, we might end up with a girl Charlie Bucket. It just depends on who is the best fit for the role. So those are non-gendered roles. We will change the pronouns as needed. Okay. This was our show that we were going to do when COVID hit. We were about 75% done with the show, and then they were like, go home and never come back. And we were like, but when we did it before, we did have a girl Willy Wonka and a girl Charlie Bucket
And a girl Katie
and a girl Candyman because they were the best. They were the best for the role. So just want to make that clear. Pronouns change very easily, so it is not a big deal. And I went over with the kids, but some of these have speaking lines but don't sing by themselves. Some of them sing by themselves. And then some of them are more just like acting sort of in the space. But everyone's part of the ensemble. So, all right. Mr. Goldstein, you're going to talk about the crew audition.
Okay. Okay. Crew audition is real. I see people. So just out of curiosity, who knows their kid probably wants to do crew? Okay, cool. So we've got 15 spots. And I'm not going to lie, I usually cave and I'm like, okay, 16, okay, 17, okay, 25. No, I won't do that. So I've had 25 kids in a room. It's scary. I mean, after school it's scary. I was like, and with paint and with brushes, just flinging it, it's great. The way that we choose, what we're really looking for is teamwork. We're looking for being able to follow directions. And sometimes, if you've ever been on a theater crew, it's about waiting. So sometimes it might just be, please wait here until your cue comes. And it's that patience, which I know they're kids. I'm not expecting perfection. What I am expecting is kids that can work together. So what we do for the crew auditions is we have them have a challenge. I think last year for Frozen it was, here's a bunch of junk, I would like you to build a snowman. and let's see what you can do. And it's 4 kids building one snowman. Are you letting someone else speak? Are you letting other people have their ideas? And of course, I guide them along that path, but I really want to see who's being kind, who's being considerate, who's letting other people shine as much as they're shining. So that's what we're looking for crew auditions. This year, we're having them design, I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but we're going to have them design a certain product, and it's going to be 4 people designing one thing. So I put them in groups of 4, and usually they pair up with their friends, and I go, great, now you're paired up with that person over there who you've never met. Because I also want to see, they're not going to know everybody in this show. They need to be able to get along with others. So that's what we're really looking for crew, and we have certain little marks that we will go over and be like, this kid's being exceptionally kind to someone. I saw this kid go out of their way to help another person when their project was failing. So that's what we're looking for crew. I'm seeing if there's anything else that I didn't mention on here. They may be asked to attend callbacks because there might be a kid who, I just wanted to see, I know that kid has been more creative in my classroom and they are more, something was up and I need to see them back. And then we've also had, correct me if I'm wrong, we've had people who really can't attend one of them, that we've had to have them use the callback date as their audition date. So we want to make it, again, as fair. We know people work, we know people have schedules. We've got our dates, we need to make sure that we do it, but we try our best. And again, all casting is based on this year's audition process only. So do your very best every single time. Show up and do your best. That's it.
Can I add one thing?
Yes, you can.
Don't forget to remind your children that even though they're in crew, they still have to dance.
Oh, so...
That's always a scary part for them, and they don't like me when I'm like, okay, you gotta dance even though you're in crew. So we do one song at the end of our production that everyone is a part of. I know that we are not all dancers. I know that some of us have stage fright, so I do take that into consideration when we're placing them at the end of the show. But they do have to dance. I know that's hard for some of them. It gets them out of
way
their
at the back
comfort
if they
zone.
want to. It's fine. Way at the back.
And it gives the
figure out
parents a
ways.
chance to see their kid on stage. Yeah. Even if they are just the ones backstage, you might get a picture of them over here dancing, but you'll get a picture of them over here dancing.
And it just proves that we are all in this, so even though you're backstage, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
That was the final song during shutdown. Final song was "We're All in This Together," and then the whole world said it for like 6 months. And now
They're a little traumatized by that song.
I'm pretty sure I was the one that shut the world down.
All right. So these are the crew roles that we have. We will have a stage manager. They're kind of like my assistant. They write down everything that we're doing. They keep track of the time. They warn us when there's 10 minutes left or 5 minutes left. When we're moving people around the stage, they write down who's going where so that we can remember what happened last time. All that kind of stuff. And then there will be 2 prop managers. They're going to be on either side of the stage in charge of all the little props and making sure that they get put back where they go, that they're working properly. If something gets broken, they're in charge of making sure it gets back to Mr. Goldstein so that it can be fixed and all that kind of stuff. We have 2 sound crew who sit right back there and hit the play button on the tracks. And I know that sounds like not too hard, but actually there are quite a few tracks that are sound effects, so they have to hit in the right spot. If you saw Moana, whenever Maui's hook was not working, that crackle sound, there was a kid back there hitting the play button on that and like watching. So there's 2 kids that do that. And then we have 2 lighting crew. We have 1 run the spotlight and kind of follow the action throughout the show, and then 1 who changes the color of the lights that we have for the different scenes. 4 run crew are the ones that take the stuff on and off the stage and move it back and forth. And with this show, because we're going from room to room in the factory, there's a lot of stuff to be moved on and off the stage. And then we will have 4 makeup crew, and like I said, we have people who are going to be kids, and then they're going to turn into Goombas. And then we have family members, some of whom are old, who are going to turn into squirrels. And so there's going to be some
Like you do.
not like full makeup, but stage makeup changing in the middle of the show, and so they will actually be backstage changing makeup during the show. So it's gonna be really fun for them. So those are the cool roles.
But they will also be helping to create some of the props and things like that. That's what they're doing while they're on stage.
Yeah.
They're also going to get to make stuff. So if that's what they're in it for, they'll be making stuff. Don't worry.
A lot of candy.
Lots of candy. Yeah.
So this is what we are asking you to agree to. This is in your packet, and it is when you fill out the form, it is in there that you agree to the following. Pick up my cast member on time at 5:05 for all rehearsals. And again, we are volunteering our time. They like to go home.
Sometimes.
So,
She'll
they
stay
like to
till
go home.
tomorrow morning.
I usually have more stuff to do, so I stay a lot. But anyways, but we have had a couple of times where people were not just like 10 minutes late or 15 minutes late, but like 40 minutes late. So if we have a problem 3 times, then we're gonna have to decide whether it's appropriate for your child to be in the show, because we really need everyone booked up on time. Like I said, 5 minutes, not a big deal. 30 minutes without texting or calling, letting us know what's going on, that's a problem. I agree to make sure my cast member gets to and from all performances. We have 3 performances. These will be up in a minute. They have to be here. That if you can't do those dates, then please don't fill out the form. We have had people go, oh, I have a vacation that weekend after their kid has been coming to rehearsals for 3 months. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is on all the forms. So make sure that they can get to the performances. Communicate with the theater team in order to make sure that this process goes as smoothly as possible, and pitch in as much as I am able, understanding that this means different things for different parents. So we'll have some opportunities for you to help out. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. You have a form, and that's like a paper form. You can fill that out if you would like to, or we have a QR code at the end here for a Google version of that same form, which is much easier for me because when you hand me that form filled out in paper, I take it and I go put it into the Google form. So you could just do that for me. That would be but it covers all of these things: emergency information, how your child's going home, permission to put makeup on them, t-shirt costume size information, photo and video release, and also that you're agreeing to our policies as we previously discussed.
Mrs. Harnstein?
Yes.
If we have 2 children, can we fill out the form twice, or is it only going to allow me to submit
You
one?
can fill it out. All right, so these are some important dates. We have auditions on the 2nd, 7th, and 9th. We have callbacks on the 14th. That is also the day that you will find out if your child is in or not. And then the 16th will be our full read through, and they'll find out what their roles are. Okay? Then we will have a parent volunteer meeting, which is where we ask parents who want to help out in any way to come, and we have a costume crew that is parents that help out to make all of our amazing costumes. You do not have to be able to sew. Okay, we work lenders, but we also have some people who can sew. One of whom is a grandparent of a former student who is now a
High school.
He's high school sophomore, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Freshman.
a grandparent of a high school freshman who used to come to our to be in the show, and she started helping out, and she continues to help out with the costumes. So we have people that can sew and things like that, but many hands make light work. So that meeting will be on December 7th. January 11th is when we're going to resume after winter break, so we don't come back that first Tuesday. That's a lot. So we wait until the Thursday, the 11th. And then our dress rehearsals are going to be April 16th and 17th. The 17th is a Wednesday, so that's a different day. All of our auditions and rehearsals, everything is on Tuesdays and Thursdays from after school till 5:05. The 17th is a Wednesday, And we did that because we're going to do the school performances on the Thursday during school. And then our opening night is Friday. So that's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's a fun week. We're not tired at all that week. It really is fun though. And then
Send coffee.
a lot of coffee. Starbucks.
Starbucks cards for
Send
everyone.
coffee.
We love Starbucks.
Yes.
Opening night is Friday, April 19th. It shows at 6 o'clock. And then April 20th, we do 2 shows. One is at 11 and one is at 2. And we do keep them, and we feed them lunch, and we do the show, we de-costume, take a break, eat lunch, relax a little bit, and re-costume, and come out and do the show again. So you don't have to, there's no show back and forth. You drop them off, we keep them until after the 2 o'clock show. Okay. So, yes.
It says 2:30 for that show. I just want to make sure I get the
Yeah, we changed it to 2 because last year we did Moana. Moana was an hour long. Willy Wonka is only 30 minutes. So I didn't want to make the time, like, if it's too long, then we get crazy and they get all sweaty and gross. And then, yeah, it's not, we don't want to do that.
If your child is in, you're going to get so much communication from this one. You're going to be tired of
You're
hearing
going to be like, another email.
Yeah, another
Cards.
email from Miss Hardesty. And
All right.
papers.
And
She's
you'll
good
get
at
free
that.
papers in your kid's backpack shoved at the bottom with the same information.
Yeah, check the
always
bottom
check the
of
bottom
it.
of the backpack. That's where all the papers went. All right. We will add your child to a Google Classroom. That's where all the tracks and information will be. They are required to practice at home. And this is my favorite thing that I do. Every time there's a part where we have like part 1, part 2, I record myself singing that part, and then that part, and then on the other song, that part and that part. So I record myself singing a lot of things. I don't like to do that. But then I put it in a Google Classroom, so your child can practice at home with their part and not get confused about what they're supposed to sing. So I would like them to please listen to those tracks. I didn't make them for myself. And they, yeah, very much. There will be things, videos also, like I will take videos sometimes of rehearsal and put it up there so they can see what they look like, what they're doing. Last year was real interesting. I put up a video and a kid was like, wow, I really look bored. I'm like, yes, you do.
That is something you can work on with your kids, the difference between like, I'm miserable face, and then the super cheese face, and then there's a middle in between, because they're either like, or they're like, and there's very little in between. So we work on finding that. You can help with that, because it is a very hard thing for them.
Yeah, so, and I mean, as awkward as it is to watch or listen to yourself, it's actually really beneficial. This is my college professor from using the mirror for 4 years. It was fine. Okay, we, and I didn't change the shirt, but we have a company t-shirt that we do every year. It has the student names on the back. Ours is actually Willy Wonka Kids, but it already got fixed, so I just didn't switch the shirt out.
Whatever,
But
everybody
that's
say,
what it looks like.
Say, ah.
So those are $10 for the kids and $15 for adults, and they're available for anyone who wants to purchase one. All cast and crew members will get one, regardless of financial ability. So if you have a hardship, you just have to let me know. It's okay, just between you and me. But if you can afford it, then that helps out the ones who can't. And then we also do have a costume fee for students who are in the cast, because we have really amazing costumes. They're so cute. All right. And then I'm just going to go over this real quick. I'll send home information about this, but we do have ads in the program available to you. They can be personal ones that are just like to your student, like, wow, I'm so proud of you, way to go. Or it can be like a business ad, and we have forms for that as well. And Our fundraising includes Arts Boosters, which is a $5 membership. If you want to join Arts Boosters. I'm going to tell you right now a little thing that I don't think we can put out there like super far yet, but if you are a member of Arts Boosters and PTA, which is a $15 total, you will get first announcement and first dibs on date night signups by 24 hours. Wow. That's big. That is big.
You have to have both memberships though, right?
Both memberships. Yeah, both memberships.
How do you sign up for the Arts?
So Arts Boosters, I have the forms on the table on the front. And it's a $5 donation, and then PTA is
Follow them
follow
on
them on
Facebook.
Facebook, and there's a link.
And come to Trunk or Treat.
And come to
Oh yeah, come to Trunk or Treat.
Friday. You can sign up there, and also you can trunk, and we will be there with our trunk. Which is a secret. We're not telling you.
Yeah, we're not telling you what our
Can
trunk
you do Willy
is.
Wonka?
It's not Willy Wonka.
Oh, really? That would be.
I'm so excited about
Yeah, I
this
know,
one.
but we're unpredictable.
All right, so Arts Booster membership, we sell some of our vintage t-shirts, so we still have, date nights is a big fundraiser, so we love it, you guys love it, because we love it. And any kind of donations are also welcome. If you work for a company that does matching donations, then we'll also love that. And we are signed up right now to do a Solar Bears performance in March 1st, and also a magic performance in January, because I'm crazy. It's fine.
Write that down.
Write that down. This is our website that it will have dates and information. That's also where the tickets will end up being when it opens up for ticket sales. There's merchandise available there. You can get LKO Theater merchandise and some of our past shows merchandise. And that's all. There's also a donation link on there. And one more time, we are the LPO Theater team who are volunteering ourselves to do this craziness. All right, so that's it. The form, there's a Google, I think there's a link. There's a QR code to fill it out, the Google form. I need those no later than, it's on the back of the first page. No later than October 31st, so that I can divide everybody into their groups. I will send an email that says, your child will be auditioning on this date, your child will be auditioning on this date, your child will be auditioning on this date. I will also put a list up for the kids, so if they're like, what day am I? Be like, go out to the pharmacy. I'll tell them. And then from there, as we said, you'll get an email about whether they can. If you have any questions, now is the time. Yes.
Do they have to choose one or the other for the type of audition? It's okay. Or can they audition for both?
If they're really, really unsure, they can, what we usually do is we have them audition for cast first and then do crew on the callback day.
But by the end of that, they have to know, because we need to know where their sticky note goes on past or.
Yeah, after
Yeah.
they do both auditions, kind of talk to us about, we ask them to tell us. Any other questions?
If they audition for cast, but they still want to be involved and would also be then in crew if they don't get cast.
So I would tell them that at that point, like I said, if it's like an unsure thing, we'll let you come to both and kind of go to your cast audition for cast, audition for crew at the callback day. We'll make it work. We'll make it work for you guys. Yeah.
And when they're
That's a good
auditioning for
question.
cast,
Yeah. What's that?
when they're auditioning for cast,
Yeah.
do they all have the same audition and then you ask for more from certain people?
Part of our audition process is to say, what are you comfortable doing? Because we are not going to put somebody as Willy Wonka who is not going to be comfortable standing up here and singing and dancing by themselves. That's part of the rule. So we say, are you comfortable speaking by yourself? Are you comfortable singing by yourself? Are you comfortable, would you rather be part of the ensemble? And then from there, that's how we kind of divide them up and how we watch them. So For the most part, a lot of the callbacks are going to be people that said, I wanted to sing by myself, and we were considering for one of the roles we had to sing or speak by themselves. We can pretty much gauge who's going to be a good ensemble member from the regular audition process. The callbacks are really where we need to, like, if you're going to be Willy Wonka, you're going to have to stand here and I want to hear you sing with your imagination. Let's go. And again, I put it in the Google Classroom so that they have prepared themselves, they can do that. It's not always perfect, and you know, we accept, you know, we've had kids that go, oh, I messed up, can I start again? Yes. But if you're going to stand here and be like, then, you know, that's not the role for you. And that's okay, because you need everybody.
And so if there's kids who are willing to be Willy Wonka, but they're not chosen for Willy Wonka, will they then be kind of automatically considered for ensemble?
Yes. Pretty much.
And it's not Willy Wonka, so we don't say, do you want to be Willy Wonka? We say, are you comfortable with solos? Right?
Yeah.
It's like, so that there are multiple people.
If you don't audition for like one role.
Are the video, the recordings of you singing, that's going to be available on Google Classroom before the audition?
Yes. So as soon as I get these forms back, I add the student to Google Classroom and all of the tracks and
She's already got it up there, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you say, I'm sorry, how long is the show?
It's 30 minutes.
It is, okay.
Yeah. If I go back to, a lot of the shows are available in a junior version or a kids version. Junior is an hour long, and it's pretty much a middle school level show. Kids are 30 minutes long, those are they're elementary school level shows. When we did Moana last year, they didn't have a kids. We just really wanted to do Moana, so we did the junior version of Moana, which is an hour long, which is why it was really boring. So, yeah. But when there's a kids version, we'll do kids because it's made for elementary.
Thank you.
Including like vocal range and all that kind of stuff. It's not just like the length, there's a lot more to it.
Thank you.
Can I just tell y'all, we were, last night, we got invited to the Dr. Phillips Center. We are now in our, eighth year of doing this. We were the first group, our school was the first group of Disney musicals in schools to get a grant from Disney Theatrical Group, and Dr. Phillips Center to start this at our school. I'm pretty sure we're one of the only ones still running. And we were called back to kind of do a mentorship session for the other schools that are just starting this process. So we're really, really proud of what we've built here, and we're proud of you guys for doing It was a really cool thing to be able to do. So I promise you, all of the things that we do and all of our process, it's through a lot of trial and error and making sure that everybody gets the most fair process that we can possibly put forward. It's through making mistakes and fixing those mistakes, and we hope that shines through and that shows. So if you have a question about anything that we do and why we do it, we can probably answer it. And if there's something that you might have a blind spot that we don't know about, it's okay, you can talk to us about it, but we'll probably be able to talk you through what we do and why we do it. So thank you very much. Anything else?
So if you want to join our boosters,
I have
the
forms.
forms are here. Just do a $5 donation on here, and there's like a little place for a comment, just put our boosters membership, and then that's it. That's all you have to do.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much